What's up, everybody? You're listening to High Tea with Mel, Kel, and Kay. If you're down for some unapologetic and unfiltered discussions from melanated perspectives, let's get this chat steeped and brewed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What up on a Monday? What up on a Monday? Hey.
It's Monday.
Oh, hello.
See, I'm trying to bring that energy though. See, I'm trying.
You should have heard her point 2 seconds ago, though.
Yeah, I'm not in a mental well space. I'm getting there though, because I'm talking to my ladies. So,
Yay.
the energy will be restored. I promise. So, this episode, we are gonna go ahead and get into kind of piggybacking off of our recent episodes, talking a little bit about navigating these interracial relationships waters, specifically as Black women. We can't speak to nobody else's experience but our own. And then we're gonna have our social media moment. So all three of us at some point in life, no matter what any of us says, love this man, but oof, his tea of recent is steeped. So I'll tag us later on what we're going to call that one. And then we're going to do our letters. Yes. Fucking hell, yes. Clearly, I love the letters, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this first topic, ladies, because we got things to do, because it's a Monday night, all right? So obviously, we've discussed previously how we feel about navigating in interrelationship, in multicultural relationships, and how we kind of navigate with the friendship side of it. But on the relationship side, that's a little different. It's a little, obviously, it's a lot more intimate, emotionally invested, quicker. There's a lot going on. So, for those who don't know, in this lovely world of fakes and non-fakes and all the lovely non-news we have, I'll just explain what interracial relationship is for anyone who doesn't know, and I call you stupid. So interracial relationship is when you have two beings of different races or rational ethnicities, and I even throw into that religion, because religion is also sticky. So when you have two different beings that come together to make one union, that is a whole lot of traditions and cultures being combined. Hopefully it's combined. So before we even get into the interracial relationship topic of it, that is a tongue twister. What were some of the, the Disney Channel Lifetime movie bullshit relationship thoughts that you were going to experience as an adult that are just not fucking reality?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I feel like all those rom-coms and the just basically romance filled anything, whether it was a show or a movie, they all pitched the idea that you will always have butterflies with the person that you're with.
Oh, that's false.
And as I got older, I was a little bit more realistic, realizing that people write these things to happen this way. But either way you put it, like, as you get older, you start realizing, like, no, that's very unrealistic. Like, those butterflies are there in certain situations, but they're not there every day. They're not.
And if they were, they would be wasted, because then you'd be so used to it that it won't be special. So.
Right. Then nothing will be special once you have actually experienced something very unique or something out of the norm of your relationship. Whether it's a surprise, a gift, a romantic gesture, anything like that.
I think one that's the most obvious is the happily ever after. That shit is laughable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not realistic. It generalizes something that is so deep and so multi-layered that it's the ultimate unrealistic goals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to work so hard at a relationship to stay married for a long time, even for a short time, because that's why a lot of divorces end after 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of goddamn work. The happily ever after is fucking a sham and a fucking bamboozled, swindled.
I would say that I know from looking at a lot of TV commercials and just hearing in the background, and it's gotten worse over the years now, but commercials have really gotten this ideal picture, like a Sears family picture. And you have either a white guy with a black woman or the opposite. And it's like they're always trying to feed you this idea of the look of how an interracial relationship looks like and what the family looks like, and how that's pretty much like now society's perfect family. And just because the family may look, quote, cute and so perfect, I think a lot of people nowadays are just trying to do that because it looks nice. They've kept the whole love and relationship out of it. They just want it to look good because everybody is now hooked on aesthetics.
Oh yeah, I agree with you because I do believe that there's a lot of fetishism or
Mhm.
fetishizing around
Fantasism, is that a word?
what?
Yeah,
I
fetishizing.
said fantasism, is that a
No,
word?
no, no,
No,
no,
fetish,
like fetish. Kelly knows what I'm trying to say. Please say, Kelly.
fetishizing.
Right, right. It's a tongue twister. Fetishism. I don't even know.
We
Whatever.
get it. It's yes.
Right. When you put fetish and ism at the end of it, there you go. So there's a lot of that within within the concept of interracial partnerships and interracial families and biracial people. Period. There's a lot
Mhm.
of that in our society because yeah, we understand that when you mix two completely different phenotypes, you get something completely different outside of what you normally know or see around you. Yeah, it looks nice, it's cool and whatever, but they're people as well. And I do understand where the marketing around interracial families and just interracial couples, period, whether it's a white guy with a black girl, a black guy with a white girl, a black guy with an Asian girl, an Asian man with a black woman, whatever the
Mhm.
case is, I do get the marketing behind it to show that these people exist too. It's not only just nuclear white families, nuclear black families, nuclear Asian families. I get it. Like they want to make people accept the normality behind it,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like it's a little extreme.
Yep.
Also, the couples don't all have to look the same.
Right. It's
No.
always a curly headed black girl.
Yep.
Who's either light skin or caramel.
Yep.
Right. With like
A semi hipster looking white dude
right, who most
who's
likely
got
has glasses and a beard.
yes,
Like
and
that's
a little
legit
bit of
what it is.
muscle.
Yep.
Yeah. Or
Hmm.
it's like a preppy looking black dude with a little blondie. Like that's legit what it is.
Every time.
And they're like literally playing into the stereotype of like what's already a stereotype in society when
Mhm.
people date out.
I ain't got no curly hair, but my man is a nerd, so I guess it works kind of. I'll say. Sure, sounds right. We're like the ugly version of that commercial, though. We're
Don't
not
say that.
those. Well, we're not model type people. Like we're just normal, everyday moshmos. Like
There's regular people you pass in CVS.
Just say you're relatable.
yeah, ain't nobody gonna be taking a picture of us. They'll be like, "Oh my
Right.
god, y'all are
Yeah.
so cute," until we have kids, and that's the only time they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, y'all are so cute,"
And
and that's
that's
gonna
where
be
it
the end
goes
of it.
wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna be the end of it.
Yeah, like I
Mhm.
said, there's a fetish behind biracial children and interracial couples. Period. Regardless if it's a, yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
What?
yeah. I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it to that.
Oh, she biting her tongue today.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
wow,
just biting my tongue. Leave it alone. Keep pushing.
I wasn't ready. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. Um, huh? Took me for. All right. Anyways, so I like to preface before you even deep dive into anything. No matter what relationship you're in, you will have your pros and cons.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
So this is not to shame same religion, same race, same everything couples, and it's not to also hyper promote the other side either. It's
No.
just conversation, y'all. Um, so I know what are some things that these particular types of relationships deal with that quote unquote normal couples don't have to deal with, i.e., the staring and the wanting to touch your kid's hair, those things.
Dang. Why is this so difficult?
I feel for me, being in an interracial relationship, that stuff doesn't how do I put this? The stranger stuff doesn't bother me. Like, if me and my man are walking down the street or we're going somewhere and someone's looking at us, I take it as a compliment because I think we're good looking people, so I take it as a compliment. And but what bothers me is when it comes to like people personally that I know, where they make the comment of, oh well, I can't wait to see your kids, you're gonna have such beautiful kids. I'm just like, I would hope I would have beautiful kids regardless of who I have them with, but my mission in this relationship is not to have beautiful biracial kids, it's to have healthy children. And I feel like that's the part that irks me the most. Like, I'm a person where I value children as much as I value life itself. And for me, it irks me when it's my own like family members or friends saying it to me, because I don't understand why the beauty of a kid matters. Like, yes, I understand no one wants an ugly kid, but that's like, but to me it's like talking down a dark skinned kid or like a black kid or whatever the case is. It's like saying your biracial kid is going to be cuter than if you had a kid than if you had a just a black kid. That's what it feels like to me, because no one's sitting there telling whatever that, oh yeah, you're gonna have a beautiful kid. Like, they mostly leave those statements to mixed couples or couples where one is darker or one is lighter than the other and stuff like that. And that's something that really irks me, because like I said, I don't care about the beauty of my kid, I care about the health of my kid.
That's right on point.
As you should.
Yep. I would say another one would definitely be a lot of interracial couples. I have a very big feeling, especially with a family friend of mine, they shy away from hot topics like racism.
Oh
And
yeah.
especially after 2020, I'm sure that has come up a lot between both sides of the family. And it's a
Yeah.
fact that racism totally exists in our world, but a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. And I think a lot of interracial couples, they may think that their love for each other will just mask the racism and think that is irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
And it can be a real problem with partners' families, and maybe the family may not accept their spouse and all that kind of stuff. But it could definitely break down to communication and problems in the future for the relationship.
Yeah.
And it's something that needs to be brought to the forefront. Like, you have to be real about it if you want a real relationship to last.
Yeah.
Listen, me and my boyfriend were ready to throw hands on anybody who had any shit to say.
Yeah.
We like, anytime we go into a family situation, be like, listen, all right, here's the problem, people. Let them say some shit. Text me if I'm not right next to you.
Yeah.
And I'll be ready. We can start with verbal, and then you can start with the physical, but it's gonna happen if you try it. We come ready.
I mean, I'm interested with you two being in one. Like, have y'all ever had a deep talk just between that situation?
Oh, yeah.
How did he take it?
Fine. He grew up in New York City. He ain't seen nothing but mixed people all over the place.
True.
And he had nothing but diverse groups of friends, so it's not like he's oblivious to that part of life, you understand? And on top of that, he comes from a completely different country where they already have their own history of prejudice alone. So it's not like there's no understanding. There's a huge gap of understanding there. And I think that's why for me it's so easy for me to understand and mix with with my boyfriend, for the fact that there's a huge and deeper level of understanding, because we both come from foreign countries where we have faced prejudice, then coming to another country as foreigners and having to fit in here as well, and basically having similar family dynamic. there's a lot of understanding and common ground that we have.
Yep.
So that makes it a lot more easier, and I'm always very thankful for having those grounds, because getting in getting like, when we first started talking, it was such weird territory for me because I've never spoken to a white guy outside of a friendly conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like so weird, because I was just like, how do you do this? Like, is there like a manual I should have? Especially being the logical thinker that I'm, the overthinker that I am, is just like, should I not say this? Should I not say that? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just be myself. Fuck it. And
Yeah.
it just worked, and it was good. And even with the family dynamic, I think family is like, especially when it came to family, I did let him know in advance that that's a huge deal breaker for me, because I'm a very family oriented person,
Mm-hmm.
and me not feeling like I fit in with your family, or me feeling like I'm not accepted by your family, would be a deal breaker for me.
Right.
Because me
Or
myself,
feel
like,
uncomfortable.
right, like, or uncomfortable, like me myself, like, I love my family, like, I do everything for my family. Like, I will drop whatever I'm doing in a moment for my family. My intermediate family, I should emphasize on. So I should definitely emphasize on that. So for me, the family aspect was like a big deal, but I met his parents first, and they were like super nice right off the bat. They have not changed. They're the same people that they were that I met 3 years ago. They're fucking fantastic. I love my in-laws. Whole family's great. Even the homies in Poland is amazing. So and he gets along with my family very well too. So it's like, those things are very important, and it helps you out so much more in the long run, and it makes
Mm-hmm.
it so much easier to block out the inside noise, because the people who actually matters support you the strongest.
It's very true. I love that.
So that's basically been my experience in my 3 years of being an interracialer.
Interracial.
That's my word, interracialer.
Well, no, and you should always feel not even necessarily welcome, but you should never feel unwelcomed
Mm-hmm.
in your partner's family's lives. And that's something that we talked about as well from the start. We knew who the problem people would be, and we like, all right, well, depending on how they react, this is a reaction I propose we do. And I always say it's up to that person's family. If it's like my family, I choose the action of how we react. If
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
his, he chooses the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something that I can't guarantee my reactions what they would want, I would just tell him, be like, yo, if your cousin says a wild shit to me, I will cuss her out. Like, I just need
Yeah.
you to know that. He's like, I would expect you to do that. Like, all right, cool. But for us, like, his family loves me. I've told y'all the stories about how my family's very direct. So they'd be like, all right, well, how does your family react to having a black girlfriend? And I'd be like, all right, well, if we had to put it that way, sure, let's do it. But he's always had like easy conversations with my family. I absolutely adore his, even when they're super weird. Love y'all. Um, but even like having conversations about like race and stuff, like we've had those conversations, especially with everything that happened over the last 2 years. Like we've had to have those conversations. You can't. The more we even would attempt to avoid it, just to avoid uncomfortableness, it just made things worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we were. It was just certain things we were trying to avoid, and certain things we were very open about. And especially, it was being such a high intensity time between my entire industry losing their jobs, and then this stuff, and then life stuff. It was just like a whole health stuff, like just a pile on of things that you had to deal with at the same time.
Yeah.
But coming from that time till now, we have continued to have very fluid conversations and any updates and changes of things that we want for our future collectively.
That's true. That's
Yeah, as
good.
you should.
You need, especially when you're in a dynamic that does make people feel uncomfortable, you have to be very open and honest about what you want and what your expectations are and what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
More so than if I was dating a black dude. Certain things I wouldn't have to say to a black dude. Now there'd be certain things I will say to him
Mm-hmm.
because there's a whole other set of cards when you're dealing with someone who's in your race. You have different set expectations from them.
Yeah.
But to what Shauna mentioned about how like they have their own vibe, like my boyfriend, he's not some preppy boarding school kid. Like he grew up poor in Virginia. Like he's not inexperienced to life. He was in the freaking Marines. Like he's seen and dealt with a lot of shit. So little bullshit things of just people being tyrants and just evil. He's not gonna play that shit. That's my little man with his little Jewish locks. His hair is longer than mine, y'all.
He got some hang time.
He sure does.
Nah,
I was like the other day, I was like, oh, my hair is getting almost as long as yours. He looked at me dead in the face and was like, no, it's not. And I was like, fuck
God.
you.
I'm doing that. I'm chopping hair and sleep. You're getting the side clipped off.
Oh, God.
The rest is optional.
I was like, you're such an asshole. Fuck you. I was like, you couldn't even pretend. He's like, nah, B, my hair is long.
I'm gonna be that what you call it, that Captain Sully meme. Like, look me in the face.
Oh, God.
I have the long hair now.
I was just trying to stunt out here. He just shot me down. Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever. But are there any other things that y'all can think of that, you know, other the quote unquote normal relationships don't have to necessarily deal with?
I have a fun one.
Okay.
So I believe that couple pics require more work.
Yes.
Oh, they do.
That flash.
God.
You got one who's going to look like Casper, and you got one that's going to look like asphalt. And you got to come to the middle so you look like caramel.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a hard time taking pictures out here.
Yep.
It's such a hard, especially outdoor pictures. Forget about it. Let's just stay inside, natural light. It's fine. If you come out clearer than me, that's perfectly fine because I know my ass is dark.
Yeah.
I've always struggled with pictures with lighter skinned friends, so I'm used to it. This is my life. I'm used to it. It don't even matter. I'm still gonna look nice, and you're gonna look nice, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I care about is which pose we do it in, because me and mine can't do the prom pose. It's just a hell fucking no. My man is skinny, like skin tea, like tiny, and I'm very voluptuous. So us doing the prom pose, he might as well just morph into me because he just no. It don't work.
Wear that boy like a sweater.
Yeah, it don't work, me.
That's a cardigan. What's about to go play golf with her cardigan? Go tennis.
Oh no, not my knees. I can't.
Oh no.
But that's my problem with like photos. Well, you know what I just thought of since you said that, Kelly? The cooking. That is a thing that we have to deal with.
Oh,
that
is he unseasoned?
Oh, he is. The progress this man has made.
Thank God mine don't cook. I cook.
Oh, there you go.
Well, the way our relationship set up, he has to cook.
So, and you have to eat.
Yeah, and I gotta eat, and I'm not gonna eat no bad food. Like, there's a few faux pas that he does, but now he understands if it's over seasoning, it's just right. Like, over season is better than under.
Yeah.
If I have to ask you if it has salt or not, I know it doesn't have salt. I can taste it.
What was the first thing he made?
Ooh, girl, it's almost 3 years.
I know, but there's like something that sticks out that like he failed, but he's gotten really better at it.
No, he's never necessarily failed.
Oh, good.
It just needed some more love.
Yeah, just certain dishes that he has made it had flavor. Like he uses herbs and spices. He's used to all that. Once again, the Marines. He's lived in other countries. So he knows how to use seasonings and all that stuff. Just sometimes he forgets about the salt, which I can say confidently I've done at least once in my life, where you marinate something
Yeah.
and then you're just like, oh, it's ready. And you're like, wait, I never put salt because I didn't want to dehydrate my meat.
Oh,
And
Lord Jesus.
I get it, but then sometimes I'd be like, baby, did you put salt on this? He'd be like, oh shit, that's what it's missing.
Happens to the best of us, damn it.
Yeah, so the thing, his faults are very minimal. Like he does a very good job.
Oh, good job. Good job.
And he can't hear none of this. He got his headphones on.
So
Yeah,
a safe space.
Probably got his volume on 2.
No, he zones us out because he only hears my side of the conversation, so that tends to be problematic. So he just zones us out because we don't want those problems.
Oh my goodness.
It's a perfect example of mind your business.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen to it later.
Right.
The edited version.
Yes. And we don't even edit that much, but still.
Right.
No. All right. Do y'all have one last one?
I don't have a last one that I can think of.
I don't know. I think that for me and on my side of it, I just treat my relationship like it's normal because it is a normal relationship, because I have a relationship with another human being that's a male. As a straight cisgender woman, I just treat my relationship the way I would treat it if I was with anybody else in the world. You understand? But there is moments that I understand I cannot treat the same.
Yeah.
And that's literally how I take it.
Well, that's the way it should be. It's just other people like to separate y'all. And it's ridiculous. Right. Like you're something in a petri dish.
And it really is, because I've never been a person who felt like I have to discriminate when I date or discriminate when I make friends. Like, I love other people's culture. Like, I like to experience new people and new things. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people have like their own preconceptions of interracial relationships, period, because they only hear about the bad ones that fail or the bad ones that end in some type of X, Y, and Z. And just like how the stereotype is that if a black woman gets into a relationship with a white man, he's going to be a white supremacist and he's going to hate all black people, but make the exception for his black wife. And it's just like, why is that your business?
Yeah.
What that couple chooses to do.
That's true.
Or whatever decision they make, you never know. She probably feels the same way her husband feels. So who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
Birds who flock together stay together.
Right. And if they're taking care of each other, that's all that matters.
Yep.
I think people just need to mind their business.
Yeah.
Mind the business that pays you.
Well, also, and I feel like fairly confident y'all would agree, the three of us also live in areas where, for the most part, no one really gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
The people who do give a fuck, they live in places we will never want to live. Or honestly ever live. Doesn't mean the racism isn't everywhere. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the chances of me living in an area where people give a fuck that we're an interracial couple, I bet you want to try it.
Right.
I live in the South. I don't approve of guns, but I will get one.
Right.
Yeah.
Even given the times that we've been on vacation or we've been into like other states, like, or even locally, like, I've never really felt anybody like staring hard or pointing their fingers at us and wagging their noses and being like, oh no, you should not be together, this is wrong. Like, I've never experienced that.
Well, that's what I mean. We don't socialize in those circles. Like, we don't go to those kinds of places. We're not going to West Virginia. I'm not saying it's, a problem out there, but we're not going to those type of places where you would expect that kind of treatment, because they just aren't caught up to that. This is modern day times.
Oh yeah.
But for those who do live in that environment, I'm sorry that you have to live there.
there
You need to
Mhm.
figure out how to leave
and change your
'cause
Yep.
situation.
the rest of the world is not like that.
The rest of the world has have caught up. I think
That we
For
have other
sure.
stressors to worry about
Yeah.
outside of who you fucking.
Right.
Mhm.
And the one last thing I do want to add, the only time I've ever experienced like uncomfortability from the outside and I noticed a pattern, and I'm so sorry to say this. Actually, I'm not sorry to say this because some of y'all just need to like check yourselves and check your lives. The only time I've ever felt uncomfortable outside with my boyfriend, it has always been by black men.
Oh, of
Yes.
course.
And I cannot understand why. Like I will give two times that I 3 times that I felt this. So one of the first times I felt this was more when my relationship was fresher. And me and my boyfriend were at the movies standing on the concession line. And he was standing behind me and he had his arm around my waist, as he usually does, to let people know thickness is mine. So we're standing there and there's like 2 guys. We're closer to like the entrance and there's 2 black guys. They're probably like 19, 20. Like they look like babies. And they're like giggling and then they just said something and then one of them said something short, the girl with the fro, and I just happened to have my being the only girl in the area with a fro because I dead looked around to make sure that, and I'm like, oh well I have a fro right now.
Mm.
And they're like giggling, so I'm just like, what are you giggling about? Like whatever, but whatever. And at that time it was fresher into my relationship, so it made me a little bit insecure because I've never
Yeah.
dated a white man before. So it made me insecure. The second time I experienced this was I was out to lunch with my boyfriend and his parents, and we were at this restaurant in Jersey, and it's a very popular restaurant. And this was back when they had finally like opened back like outdoor eating,
Mhm.
and they wanted to take me out for my birthday since we hadn't seen them for like months. So they wanted to take me out for my birthday. So we went to this place in Jersey. And it was just so ironic that I'm sitting at a table with my white in-laws and my boyfriend, and there's a black guy like a couple tables away from us with his blonde hair girlfriend staring at me every couple seconds for what I don't know.
Like, oh shit, black people see me. Black people
Yep.
see me. Fuck.
No, but the crazy part about it there's other black families there and interracial families and like Indian families. It was a very multi-gender, multicultural restaurant. Like there's a whole bunch of people because it's a Caribbean restaurant that his
Mhm.
parents love. They love that place. Every time they go to Jersey, they go there. So it's just like it's just weird. Like you're on a date with a white girl, but
You staring at
you're
me.
staring at me.
Yeah.
Why? But it looked like but from my observation being the person that I am, it seemed like this was like a brand new thing. Like they were in the dating phase. Like this was
He's
probably
still
like
insecure about it. He's
right.
not
Like this is
even
like their
sure
first
about
or
her.
second relation, like their first or second, like second or third date, and this is like I'm here with my in laws.
Yeah.
Me
Also,
and my
why would
mother
you
in law
take
is
a
out here.
girl to a Caribbean restaurant if you're not ready for black people to see you with her?
Right, or to like prove
Mhm.
a point to who? So that's the part that I don't understand. I'm just like, are you just like, is it weird to you seeing somebody else amongst their white in laws? I'm I'm like splitting a heavy ass drink with my mother in law because she's a drinker like me. So it's just like what?
Yeah.
And then the next time I experienced it was at my boyfriend's childhood best friend's wedding, and it's a Polish wedding, so there's nothing but Polish people there. And it just so happened to be that we were at the friends table, and there was another Polish guy there that brought his girlfriend who was also black. So that was a nice experience, like seeing another black person there. And she was really nice. She was cool, and we chatted up that night and whatever. And then across on the bride's side, I guess one of her friends or family members came with a black guy. So I don't know. I guess for the fact that being my boyfriend's girlfriend and him knowing everyone at the wedding because he's known this kid since childhood, everyone's like chatting it up with me, and it's just like I'm outside on the balcony with some of the people that I do know personally,
And this guy is like with his standing there with his beautiful girl. She was so beautiful. Like, you can probably tell, like, she probably modeled in someone's magazine. But you're staring at me. Why? Every time I feel someone's eyes burning into my skull, I turn, it's you. I told your girlfriend that she looked pretty because she did. I'm a complimenter. I don't care what you look like. If you're pretty, I'm gonna tell you you're pretty.
Yeah.
Yup.
That's just who I am. And she was just like, oh my God, I love your dress. Your dress is so cute. And I'm just like, no, your dress is cute. One of those type of things. And it's just like, and I don't understand what is the need for that. Like, is there some type of superiority complex with it that says that only we're supposed to do it?
Yes, that is what's happening. At least when I hear this, that's what I'm thinking.
Right. And
that's the only reason to stare.
Right. And it's just so odd because I don't care. No one cares. But why do you people care? I only care when you're staring straight into my skull, burning holes through my cranium. That's the only time I care. Because it's just like, why?
They don't know, baby. They don't know.
It's just so odd.
Fuck them.
It's just so odd.
Tell them to kick rocks. No socks.
It's just the oddest thing ever.
With freshly done toes.
Lord have mercy.
Nothing can save you now.
Nope. Fuck off.
Yes, but those have been my 3 experiences.
Well, that's real and relatable, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now I don't care. If I find you staring, I'm gonna suck my man's face right in front of you.
That's usually.
And I'm gonna make you feel even more awkward. He will grab cheeks and all, because that's who he is. He don't care who's there. He will grab cheeks.
Cheeky. Lord. Well, fuck anybody who has a problem with your relationship when they're not paying y'all's bills. So,
right.
If y'all have questions about any particular questions on this topic, please go ahead and send us an email, or you can hit us up on any of the multiple links that we have for y'all. Options.
So true.
DMs, comments. Y'all got options, okay? Let us know what y'all think. So, we are going to get into this social media moment. I call it hot sauce lawsuit. That's all I got. This shit is hilarious.
And I call it hot sauce spermicide.
Ooh.
That's what it is.
Dear Lord. All right. Well, I proposed this to the girls because Lord knows we love talking about Drake and his messy ass life. So, Mr. Drake had a lovely moment with a girl, and after having sex with her, there was, if you find the article, there was a lot of details of exactly what happened on her account. He was very respectable. He asked for consent, all the things.
Multiple times.
Kept it going, put on his own condom, took it off. Homeboy took the condom off in the bathroom afterwards. And he decided to put hot sauce in it because it kills the sperm. I'm sure it does. Said woman who just had sex with Drake, so you're just extra as fuck for this. Said woman decided to take herself into the bathroom looking for the condom to impregnate herself. And she obviously got a very spicy surprise.
She sure did.
Hot fire. Dumb bitch.
You know what this made me thought about when I read this? When I originally read this? I was just like, this reminds me of when Jamaican people tell their girl kids, especially, "Me for put hot sauce in your pum pum." And this reminds me of when a Guyanese parent or a Trinidadian parent tells their child, "You skunt quick, me gonna pepper sauce your skunt." This is what this reminds me of. Those exact 2 phrases that Jamaicans and Trini and Guyanese people love to tell their kids.
Well, clearly she didn't get that talk, because in response to getting the hot fire in her hot fire, is suing Drake because of said hot sauce incident. Now, my response to that bitch is, so I'm getting sued for you trying to entrap me with a kid that I did the responsible thing to make sure I didn't have. Is that how I'm hearing this? And you're mad that you got caught?
Drake is getting sued for having autonomy over his reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of fucked up shit is that?
Right.
Sexual harassment goes both ways,
right.
y'all.
That there's a man who decided to do the right thing because he don't want no more children right now. He don't want them pickney them.
Yep.
And he did what he thought was the right thing. And then I had asked myself, why didn't he flush it down the toilet? And then I reminded myself, maybe Drake was out here respecting the hotel septic system.
Right.
Maybe he was respecting the fact that condoms can clog sewage systems.
Or he knew the hot sauce remedy worked, because I'm sure it does kill sperm. It's hot sauce. I'm sure it does.
And my second question is this.
Why the fuck?
No. What kind of hot sauce he used in the first place? I know it wasn't them Chinese sauce packets.
I don't even think it matters. No. My concern is, why didn't she see it was red? Because there's no hot sauce that's clear.
No. Oh, there is clear. The ghost
I'm sure he didn't have it, though.
I'm still trying to...
She saw this condom that are traditionally clear. Unless the condom in itself was red, why the fuck you didn't notice the sperm was red?
And then second off, if Drake was eating some like ghost pepper sauce or something like that, how you didn't smell that shit?
She's not bright, obviously.
She's an IG model. No offense to other IG models out there. I'm sure there's a lot of you with master's degrees and you're intelligent women, but this one,
she's not.
You making the team look bad. You making the squad look real bad.
It's not working well. Y'all need to cancel her contract.
This shit don't make no sense.
Shaw ain't got no brain cells to see that the sperm that just came out of Drake
is tinted.
Was pink after he went and put it in the trash. There's no, at least on my account, it's white. I don't know what color she's seeing out here in these streets.
It can be white, off-white.
But it's usually around white.
A little creamish, depending on your diet.
But not pink. There's no Pepto-Bismol coming out of my man. So, why did we not notice that the color was off? Before you put it to your vagina.
She probably said a prayer, said a few Hail Marys.
She needed a prayer after.
And then took a chance. And
this is the worst version of Take a Chance on Me I've ever heard in my life. She did not do her very best.
You know what I thought of, though? The fact that she put hot sauce in her cooch. And all I'm thinking about is she could have had a crab boil going on in her cooch. Like crabs and hot sauce. She was halfway there, man. I'm just saying. Let's be smart about this. It was too easy of a joke.
Not the crab broil. All the yeast. Oh.
Yeah, see that potato starch. That ain't
it. See, this is what happened. Y'all, these IG girls be out here listening to too much Brittany Renner.
That is not a material girl. That's
my god.
That's not luxury, baby.
No.
A baby's not a Louis bag, baby. No. It's not a Birkin. It's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Why y'all out here trying to use babies as accessories? They're babies. Right. They're human beings.
Babies take work. Have been the ultimate pawns forever.
They're not Birkin bags and Louis red bottoms. They're not.
They cost as much as Birkin.
They do. For 18 years plus.
I'm just saying.
You can't trade that shit in like a car. Like you can't trade it in like a Lambo when you don't want it no more.
No, that's
no,
literally
you can't trade them in. You gotta sell them back.
Yeah, I'm done on this topic. She's dumb as fuck. I hope she gets countersued and Drake wins.
Yeah.
Oh, she definitely is. There's no justifying that. There's no justifying on why you thought it was okay, and you shot yourself in the foot by explaining the whole entire story
in detail.
Exactly.
In
like
detail.
A lot of detail.
Yeah.
Saying that he, as soon as you were finished, he got up, went to the bathroom, and came back. And then you went back to the bathroom after him, right behind him.
Yep. You dumb.
You confessed that you were trying to entrap this man.
In the words of Takashi, bitch,
Are you dumb?
are you dumb?
Stupid?
Dumb?
Oh no!
I can't. Literally can't.
Oh Jesus!
Oh Lord. Yeah, I'm done on this topic. So
And that was the hot load.
Oh God!
That was
You know
the
what?
coming in hot.
Stop! I'm gonna throw up. Not the hot load. Oh gosh.
This is rated X now, for real.
Yeah.
Gosh, they're gonna throw us out like they are Spotify.
Spotify deserves it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's
And-
true. I been gave up on Spotify. So
You got the pepper in that poom poom. Pepper for your cat.
all right, let's get into these. Is it chat tings? That's what we call it. Right?
Tea chat ching. Tea chat
Tea-chat-tings.
chat tings. Oh my god.
We are
Tea
mixing our words
chat-tings.
like we're mixing relationships.
We're mixing our words like we mixing hot sauce and cum condoms.
Oh God! You know what? Let's keep.
I'm
on
gonna keep going. Don't play with me.
Listen, out here making mauve children. We're just mixing a lot of things out here. in this show.
Trying to have some redheads, huh?
Oh
That was the dream. That was the dream.
I'm gonna keep going. Don't play with
Let's
me.
go to the chat tings.
Oh, here we
Okay.
go.
I'm stopping for now.
Are we here for one or are we here for two?
Give us one for now.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
test out one.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Because I want French toast.
Of course. All the carbs. Alrighty. So here we go. Hi, Melissa, Kelly, and Kay. I may be an older woman, but I truly have loved every episode of yours. Maybe you can help me and my
Hearts.
hubby get an understanding.
Oh.
I'm afraid my 16-year-old daughter is missing out on the best parts of her youth. She's a good kid, gets good grades, but doesn't seem to have any friends. Doesn't date, doesn't go to parties, football games, or dances. Nothing. Her entire life is focused on a blog she runs and the fan fiction she posts on another site. I've checked her blog. It's okay, but nothing most girls would be interested in. These are the years to have fun, learn social skills, and build a good resume for college. My daughter will have absolutely no extracurricular activities unless she writes about her Superman and Batman fan fiction. My husband and I have told her about all the fun she's missing. He played football and ran track. I was a cheerleader in the theater club and never missed a dance. But she's just not interested in anything. We don't think she needs to be a cheerleader or an athlete, but we do think she needs to be involved in something. What should we do? My social lifeless daughter.
Okay. Okay.
I have.
I
many
can
thoughts.
relate to this. I can relate to
too.
this
Mm.
because I used to write a lot of short fanfic novels, like not really novels, but a lot of fan fiction when I was younger.
Mhm.
And it was literally around in the same age group from like 12 to 16. I like just fell in love with like reading fan fictions and writing my own fan fictions. I still have the whole archive on my Google Docs.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, I get that, honestly, and I've had a similar conversation like this with my coworkers recently, where it's just like a lot of parents, you have this idea of who you will love your children to be,
Mhm.
but sometimes you have to see your children for who they are. Maybe her experience isn't, she doesn't find her joy in the typical things a lot of teenagers do, which may be like going to a dance, going to a party, going to a friend's house, all that stuff like that. And
the high school experience is not what they put on TV.
It's not
No.
typical. Everyone's high school experience is completely different. And you don't know that she actually do have her group of friends that you probably don't know nothing about because she doesn't
Mhm.
feel like she has to share that with you, because I was like that with my parents. So I was a very more diverse kid where I had my more nerdy friends who were into animes and comic books, and I loved hanging out with those friends. And I still communicate with a few of them till to this day. And then I had my friends who were not into those type of things. Like So for me, it's just like maybe she has her group of friends that she connects with very well while she's in school. And it necessarily doesn't mean that she doesn't have a life just because she doesn't want to go to a dance or go to the mall. Because she doesn't see herself as being a typical high schooler. Like her interests are elsewhere. What you should do if you're saying that you've read some stuff on her blog and you think it's okay, you should encourage her on a writing path, especially if what she's more into is writing, because that's what it seems like. At least give her the idea of maybe if the school has like a journalism club, like maybe do something like that, or like write for the yearbook or some or stuff like that.
Or she can
Or
start her own club. It sounds like she's into
right,
comics. She
or
can
even
start a comic book
or
club.
even to that, you can find her an outside program that does like that teaches writing to youths and stuff like that and help her out there, because maybe that's where her interest is. Because I enjoy writing, like even to this day, like I do enjoy writing still. Like I get A's and B's on essays, like don't play with me. So in school, all throughout school, like I enjoy writing, especially if I can write something from a personal perspective, and that it seems like that's what she's into, and I can 100% like empathize with that because that's who I was as well. So don't see your kid as what you would like to see them as. See them for who she's showing you that she is. And she seems like she's an introvert and she likes to write. So encourage her to write. Like find an outside program for her so she can like work on her writing skills and get better. Because you never know. She could be the next J.K. Rowling. Don't knock your kid.
Well, hopefully better.
Well, I'm just saying because she's somebody famous that everybody know. But damn.
I just had to say it. Sis is out here wilding in these streets. But anyways, no, I completely agree, and I definitely feel like I understand where you're coming from. Especially that's the dream that's been sold to us, and from what it sounds like, that's the dream that y'all had because of what y'all did in high school. But as a person from the outside, that is not the only way to have a good high school life.
No.
Yeah.
And I had a mix of friends. I would hang out during the day with my anime friends and we talk about comics and bullshit and just be who the fuck we want to be. And then I had my friends who were more like, oh my God, I love Drake. Oh my God, da, 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 da. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as you have people who respect you, and that's all that matters. Is she happy as a teenager? You might not be happy with her choices, but if she's a happy person, she's not doing anything to harm herself or others, it's gonna be all right, Mom.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out a way to merge her interest with things that colleges are looking for. So if she starts her own club, that speaks to one thing. Her starting the initiative of starting her own club, that's huge. She's going to have to design it and plan it and curate it to make it last. That's something that colleges would definitely look for. She could start a fucking Quidditch club, whatever the fuck she's into.
Yeah.
But she could find ways to get things on her college applications as side hustles. But she needs to figure that out. And you're going to probably have to help her, asking her questions about who she is as a person that she's developing now is the key to that. You have to get to know what she likes and not just what you see.
Yeah. That's why I said like you can even go the extra mile of like finding like programs outside of the school that may have like some type of scholarship foundation attached to it where they basically focus on writing because that's what it seems like she likes. Like you just don't start writing and typing stuff just because like you have to have some type of interest in it. It has to bring you some type of joy.
There has to be a drive behind it.
Yeah, like you just don't do it just to do it.
Yeah. Well, to go with that, I was in a whole bunch of clubs. I was totally like your daughter. I was just in my books with the grades. That's it. I didn't go to dances. I didn't have like that big old friend group that went out and everything. But the clubs that I was in, Velocity is still going strong. I would totally suggest your daughter look into that. But it's all about merging your love for giving back to other people and kids, especially. And it has everything to do with reading and writing. And that seems like it would be totally perfect. What you do is you go into different classrooms, either in the elementary level or the middle school level, and you just work with certain classrooms, usually the English literature class, and you just start kind of making your own curriculum with the teacher. And you can go in once or twice a month and you kind of just get a little bit more comfortable with talking to other people, which she seems like she's an introvert. She's a little guarded, and that could just be her way of getting more comfortable talking to other people, getting out there. But at least those are her peers, and even at a younger level. And that just may make her feel more accepted and even comfortable in her own skin in what she is doing. And also look into going to the YMCA. They have so many different curriculums and activities that you can do after school, and that would also go towards her little resume to get into colleges. But definitely encourage what she's doing because she seems like a very bright girl.
Yeah.
She's not out here wilding.
That's
You're
Nope.
doing,
important
you're
You
part.
doing
should
a
be
great
glad
job,
about that,
Mom.
actually.
She's not out here wilding.
Yep. You have a
I wasn't
90s
even a
baby
wild
in a
child, man.
2000s world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I get it.
Mhm.
I get it that there's parents out there that, you know, like they have a different lived experience. And for the fact that she says she was a cheerleader and her husband was on the football team, like
The
that
ideal
that
look.
was what you guys were into. You guys were into
Mhm.
that ideal type of high school stuff, but then you forget that there was kids on the outside who weren't into football, who wasn't into the jock life or the athletic life. Like you said, you were a theater kid. Like there's kids who are strictly theater kids only. There's
Mhm.
kids who just want to play chess. There's kids who gets into robotics. There's kids who just want to be potheads and be high all day. Like
I wouldn't
it's
encourage that for
different.
college applications, but
No. I'm just saying. The whole
no,
point I'm
I'm
trying
just
to
making a
make.
joke.
The whole point I'm trying to make is just like there's different strokes for different folks, and
Mhm.
I get that people think that because I'm an athlete, I'm gonna breed an athlete. It doesn't always work like that.
Not
Some
at
Yeah.
athlete breed some real clumsy kids. So it's
Mhm.
just
all.
the apple sometimes does fall very far from the tree,
Yeah.
and you just gotta know how to, throw a little rope out there and bring that apple back a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
also depending on where they live, sports might be the only major outlet to the town.
Like
And
Texas.
That's true.
yeah, so especially with having parents who were involved in sports,
Yeah,
I
that's
can
true.
understand their concern. Like, oh, everyone else sees that you need to be in sports and do this and do that in order
Mhm.
to fit in and have a good high school experience. But even in those towns, like if those are the only options, if you're just talking strictly just for college applications wise, find her a quiet assistant job on a team, because in those towns there's typically not a YMCA or any of those kinds of things. There's a library.
Mhm.
So if there's nothing that your daughter relates to as far as what's available and she doesn't have options to start her own thing, just find her something as an assistant and she just help her milk that shit. Be like, this is what I learned during this bullshit ass time, during these bullshit ass things for these stupid people. Because that's what she's gonna be thinking the entire
Yeah.
time. But if you're just worried about college applications, just find something to help her feel good. And even if it's writing into a contest, like anything
Mm-hmm.
that will help encourage her. But if your options are limited just because of where you live, y'all gonna have to come together and be like, all right, well, here's some options that we think you would like. Tell us what you think. Here are all of the options.
Yeah.
And figure out a plan together. And even if she doesn't like it, if she's a part of the plan and not being told what the plan is, she might be more receptive to be like, all right, I'll go join JV track as an assistant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
So
also
I think
talk
we
to
had
your kids and make sure that they actually want to go to college.
That's true.
that too.
Make sure, because sometimes parents create their own plans for their children,
Mhm.
and it's nothing like what their kids actually want for themselves.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be paying a whole lot of money for a very miserable kid who you threw into college that don't even
Mhm.
want to be there.
Yeah.
Also, don't go into an art school. That's just
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No,
a lot of
Just
money.
go to a college that has everything.
Yeah.
Dabble in a little bit of everything.
A smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord.
It sounds like you have a good daughter. It just seems like your interests are different, but she sounds like a good kid who's not out here once again wilding in these streets. I would just encourage her to continue being herself and sit down and come up with a plan. And that's sometimes painful, but you gotta do it to adult.
Yeah.
Sorry, boo.
Yep.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
I agree. Do y'all want to do another one? Or are we good?
I think French toast is ready, right? You're ready
And
for
the
French
bathroom
toast?
is calling my name.
Alrighty then.
Yes. French toast time. French toast time. Sweet. All right. Well, let's wrap this sucker up with weekly recommendations. For those of you just tuning in, weekly recommendations are things that we think will help improve your lives, your mood, your vibe, whatever. And it can be music, movies, TV shows, advice, whatever our hearts desire. So, ladies, who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Ooh, thank you, boo.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if anybody had watched, if you checked out our social media um, over the weekend, was Janet Jackson's documentary. It was fantastic, amazing, woohoo.
Oh.
But after the documentary was My Killer Body with K. Michelle on Lifetime. And let me tell you, that stuff was crazy. So K. Michelle, if you don't know who she is, she's an R&B singer. She's been out for a while, but she was one of the very first celebrities to come forward with her personal health struggles after she got silicone injections and it nearly took her life. And she is actually continuing to use her platform via social media and now on this show where she's helping men and women desperately reverse their plastic surgery procedures that
great.
is now threatening their lives. And when I tell you, watching that show, I think Kashana would really, really like it because it's kind of like a TLC show. But watching it, the two people that she had on there already, one of the girls, she was a grown woman, mother of two, has a husband, and she got a mommy makeover. And the mommy makeover was the tummy tuck, liposuction, all that kind of stuff. Well, when her friend who went with her to get the surgery, once she woke up from the drugs, her friend told her that her stomach was pitch black. And they show the pictures, they show the video. Her skin was dead. The nerves, the cells of her stomach were dead. And it was so bad that once your cells are dead, obviously you can't feel anything. So once she got home, she left the doctor, and I put doctor in quotes because we all know these people are cheap and they're not really actual surgeons. But she had to literally cut her stomach herself. She had to cut the dead skin of her stomach because that's the only way that your skins are going to regenerate. So she had
They
to
let
cut
her leave?
Yes, girl, because these surgeons are so cheap and they don't care about you.
Yep.
They're just there to make money.
Yep. And then too, once you leave the country, they are no longer liable for anything that happens to you.
Yep.
You sign waivers saying that when you go, especially international, to get surgeries done. And that's the part of it that's very scary. And there's a lot of like plastic surgeons here who refuse to like even tend to work done overseas.
Yep.
Because they do not want any responsibility for what can possibly happen.
Yep. And a lot of these surgeons, they literally work 24 hours in a day. They get at least 8 surgeries done back to back to back.
Yep.
And it's all to make money.
Yep.
And the fact that a surgeon is not taking a break between surgeries is a problem because that means that they're not even focused.
Nope.
So it's all about money. So yeah, none of these surgeons, they care about your life. But she went home, she had to cut her skin, and literally the scar that she had, you could see her muscles, her belly button was hanging, all of that. Yeah, it was horrible. And when they went back to the reconstruction surgeons after K. Michelle went to their houses and had a conversation with them, they go to the reconstruction surgeons and they're shocked. They were even shocked because they could barely help them, but they were able to make it look a little bit more clean. I really couldn't tell a difference, but for them, I'm sure they could tell a world of a difference.
Yeah.
Even just from the fact that that one girl was like, when I woke up, I actually had help. The doctor was checking in on me. I didn't have any pain afterwards. It healed up great. And that says a lot. That means that you literally had no aftercare. You had no actual service when you first got it done. And that's where you got to take quality over a cheap amount of money when you get these surgeries.
Yeah. I mean, in general,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Especially
literally.
anything having to do with your physical and mental health.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But
It's very
it's such a
sad.
great show. I would definitely recommend it.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Boy.
It's like an extreme botched.
Literally.
It's like botched on crack.
Mm-hmm. On Lifetime.
Lord. Keishana, you want to go? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go next. I have a quick one.
Okay.
So this weekend, my boyfriend and I, we binge watched this show on Netflix called All of Us Are Dead. It is a Korean show, and for some, Koreans are killing the market right now. Like, we binge watched all 12 episodes, and each episode is literally like an hour and like 10-15 minutes long, and we binge watched this whole entire series in 1 day, in 2 days, actually 2 days. And when I tell you we were hooked, I did not want to watch anything else on TV. I did not. It's really good. It's one of those zombie apocalypse, but it's like World War Z zombies. And just the whole series of events is good. And for the fact that it's like teenagers fighting for survival with no help from adults makes it even better.
Ooh.
And I was kind of mad.
Realistic.
And I was kind of mad they killed off 2 of my favorite characters, but it's all good. It's all good because the series ended very well, so it was all right.
Oh.
Right.
Ended well.
Sounds
So
good.
it's called All of Us Are Dead, and it's on Netflix. It's a Korean show, and of course it's dubbed in English, so you know we don't have to read subtitles. We're good.
Thank you. Love it. All right. Well, mine is very simple and straight to the point. So, in my basic business, of course, I've been watching the new And Just Like That, the Sex and the City remake or reboot or whatever the fuck it's called. And any Sex and the City fans who are out there are probably already watching it. But if you are a fan and you're not watching it, you really should. I feel it is one of the smoothest and best reboots or remakes I've seen yet. It doesn't feel inorganic. It doesn't feel like, obviously the characters have changed. It's been well over 20 years, but it doesn't feel like they made a reboot. It feels like they just hit play on where their lives would be at this current moment.
Okay.
And obviously with Samantha not being there, it doesn't actually feel that off. They've brought in other characters to bring in some of Samantha's wittiness and, out there-ness that she brought to the show. And I like their new characters they brought in. They seem like normal fucking people, which is why I like the show. Even though they're rich as fuck, they act like normal people and talk like, have real conversations like normal people. And it's not some Gen Z fucking weird conversation.
Thank God. Talking about how woke everyone is.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they are still woke, LBG friendly, and all the things, but it is not forced. It is just how I think normal people would react in the situations that they put them in.
Got it.
I encourage anyone who has HBO Max, go ahead and watch the show. We got about 10 episodes, and there are some good ones, y'all.
Ooh, juicy.
Not even a game. Hilarious. Screaming in my living room. Hilarious. So, ladies, is that it for y'all? Are we good to go? Wrap this sucker up?
Yes.
So good.
Sweet. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to High Tea with Mel, Kellen, K. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Follow us on Instagram at hight_podcast and on Twitter at hightpod1. Take a peek in the description box for all things High Tea with the links. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. MKK out.